threw a lot at you. What I just went over in the last 20 minutes is really a weak course. All right? That's all I want you to, you've got some, the reason I put it in the packet, you've got some websites there, you've got some things to think about, you've got some things that you could go back and maybe ask some questions, okay? Maybe now you know that, yeah, I never knew that there was a restricted country. I never knew that there were restricted parties. Never knew anything about boycotting. Okay? Maybe that helps. I never knew that I needed to know where my product went all the way to the end user. But more importantly, what I hope you pulled out of this last 20 minutes, is that you are a USPPI. And that's a privilege. And it's a privilege that can be taken away from you. All right? When your customer on the other end is trying to entice you to sell your product to them, look it. You know, I know this is the way you really classify your product, but if you're going to send it to Vietnam, let's classify it this way, and it'll stop a lot of the red tape. Or, you know what, Amy, I know you've got a lot of work to do. I'll file your paperwork for you. We've gotten very good at getting stuff out of the United States. We'll take care of it for you. All these things should be red flags to you, okay? Whenever somebody tells you that doing business internationally is easy, that should raise a red flag, okay? It's not that it's hard, but you can't cut corners. That's what I want to drill down to you today. Don't cut corners. Make sure that things are done right. Because, remember what I said in the very beginning of class, exports have doubled, fines have tripled. The U.S. has more international inspectors today than they've ever had before. Okay? Just make sure you're doing it the right way. There are two types of export transactions. There's a standard export transaction and there's a routed export transaction. Okay? Standard export transaction. We've already talked about the USPPI. USPPI is responsible to prepare and file the information and provide proof of filing, the ITN number. Remember I said, once you get that number, hang on to it. Put it on your bill of lading, put it on your commercial invoices, wherever you want to put it. But when people start looking at that shipment, you want that ITN number to be present. USPPI may authorize an agent to file the EEI via a power of attorney, and we'll talk about that. USPPI must provide the agent with accurate and timely export information, including the commodity data, any licenses, exemptions, or exceptions. Okay, I said a lot there. Let's pull out a few things. We've already talked about ITN numbers. Power of attorney. I talk about this more on the import side, but does anybody know what a power of attorney is and how it works on the shipping side of it? Okay. When you sign a power of attorney, like anything else, you're giving somebody authorization to act on your behalf. Okay? Now, you might give me your power of attorney, Jennifer. You might say, Mike, we have this shipment that's going out. we don't really want to deal with it. We would like you to deal with it, handle it. The very first thing I would do is say, would you sign this power of attorney? You would sign it, and what you would do is be giving me the right to act on your company's behalf. Okay? And I think that's a great question. You are still the USPPI. You are. You're not going to say, I signed my power of attorney over to Mike, so he's the guy you go after. No, it doesn't work that way. Okay? So you, as the USPPI, never release that responsibility. Okay? I mean, I couldn't have asked for a better segue than that question. Okay? Understand that. And one of your most valuable pieces of information are who has a POA for your company. All right? Because what happens is, Jennifer calls me today and says, Mike, I need you to take care of this information. Great. Okay? I get a power of attorney. We sign it. I take care of her shipment. I don't hear back from her for months. She has another shipment. She goes to somebody else. Signs a power of attorney with somebody else. Well, guess what? Now you have two people out there with your power of attorney. Don't do that. Don't do that. Okay? You want me to do it? Sign a power of attorney. That power of attorney for 1 month. You give me that power of attorney for 1 year. Whatever it is, put a time limit on it. You want to give me an unlimited power of attorney? Make sure you remember that. And when you decide to go somewhere else and do something else, you revoke that power of attorney. Okay? It's very important because you don't want a lot of different powers of attorney just laying out there. Okay? Put an asterisk. That'll save you a lot of heartache. Okay? An authorized agent. Okay? Basically, the power of attorney is giving me authorization to act in your behalf. Now, you're still responsible. I also have an obligation to you to act properly and to do everything that I tell you I'm going to do. Okay? So if I tell you, Jennifer, I will file the AES for you. Okay? If I tell you I'm going to do that, then the government's going to come on me if I don't. They're still going to come on you as the USPPI, but they also are going to come on me. Your check, if I'm doing my job, is what? Do you know? If I tell you I'm going to file an AES for you, what are you waiting for? The ITN. Okay? So even though I tell you I'm going to do something, check on me, make sure I do it. Okay? And that's important for you guys to make sure that those ITN numbers are being communicated back. Carriers should not accept cargo without the ITN. There's other exceptions, but I would say don't do it. Just make that a practice. No cargo moves without an ITN number. Routed transaction parties. It's pretty much the same thing. You're giving me the authorization to do it. Okay, we know what the USPPI is. Okay, a foreign party principal of interest must authorize a U.S. agent. This is for a routed transaction. Okay, so now you're bringing in a foreign principal party of interest. But remember, even with a foreign party, principal party of interest, the U.S. government doesn't go after that party. All right? And these are very rare that a company would file as a foreign party of interest.